is the flow.
Salve, salve família, bem-vindos a mais um Flow. Eu sou o Igor, and today is going to be in English because I'm talking to Gordo. Thank you for coming here, Gordo.
Obrigado.
Ah, diamante.
I'm not gringo.
You're not gringo. Why are you speaking English then?
Vai.
Filho da puta.
Bora. Bora.
Nice. Thank you for coming, really.
Thank you.
I heard you love Brazil. I heard you've been coming here for a while.
Yeah.
You were here for Carnival?
I'm coming. I came here for you.
Oh.
And then Carnival also.
Nice.
I just decided we're going to do a free pop-up Saturday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. But Gordo, you've been, let's just start here saying that you have not been Gordo for your whole life, right? So first you became famous. You became somebody important in music by the name of Carnage.
Yeah. I was Carnage before, yeah.
Yeah, you were Carnage before. And there has been some transformation there, right? Some transformations. Yeah. I'd like you to tell me what happened. Was it something that started as a parallel project? You found out that you were not doing what you really wanted. What happened so that you became? I mean, that made you change from Carnage, from Gordo, because there is a change in how you sound, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I started the Carnage thing when I was 20. I mean, I started touring heavy when I was 21. And you know, imagine, I mean, 21 years old, I started traveling the world. I did everything, played every festival, everything goes, made a bunch of money. Like, it was the boom of the EDM thing, you know? So there was money everywhere, you know? So it was a great time for me to enter and walk in and do that. And then it exploded. And then we're talking about the change happened when I was 29. So we're talking about 8 years later. So,
and you had experimented, you know, fame and money and everything. I don't know, a young adult would like to. And then you decided to change.
Yeah.
Something happened.
I wasn't happy. You know, it got to the point where I was like, you know, times change, especially with dance music and with like music in general. I always base it off of college, right? So every 4 years, let's say you get a fan going into college.
Okay.
For 4 years, they're going to college 4 years. That fan is going to be a fan of yours for those 4 years of college. And then after those 4 years, usually their mind changes. So I went through like 2 college things of 8 years of like, you know, trying to stay relevant with the kids and stay relevant with the people and doing my thing and doing different things and, you know, trying to keep something alive, to keep a business going for 8-9 years. That's a pretty successful business, you know. But it got to the point where I was like 29 years old, still young. And I was like, had my biggest residency and like people coming up to me and being like, man, I grew up listening to you in high school, like middle school. And like, I'm only 28 years old, you know? And I start feeling really old and just like washed. And yeah. And then also like, I just wasn't happy. I was extremely overweight. The shows weren't as great as they were before. The music was the number one thing. I just was so over EDM. I was so over getting on the mic and screaming 1, 2, 3 jump and doing that whole thing. So that was the biggest thing for me. I hated the music, where it went to. It just got oversaturated. And the interesting thing for me was that obviously we're talking about EDM, but also the reason Carnage was Carnage is because all of my biggest songs were rap songs. So it wasn't like I was full EDM my life. My whole life was EDM. Like when EDM started going down and rap music started going up, I was in the rap world also. So that's what kept me alive those other 4 years. You know, the first 4 years was EDM, and then the second 4 years was rap music.
Was that intentional?
I think I just, you know, what was the intention of me going from EDM to rap?
No.
Their change.
No, I mean you were. Let's think on those terms of 4 years, right?
Yes.
So you said the EDM carried you over the first 4,
Yeah.
and then trap kind of carried you over the next 4. And did it just happen, or did you? Oh wait, I need to keep going here, and I let's just try some trap here.
The thing was that Carnage blew up from a genre that I created called festival trap. So I come from the bass music trap world, and then from there I went into EDM. So then when the rap stuff come back, I was like, I could already do it.
Okay.
So then I just, had to release these songs, and all of the songs that I released, all the first big songs I released were all with really big up and coming rappers. And I got really lucky over and over again where I would release a rap song with a guy that ended up blowing up.
That's what happened.
So like, all the big rappers going in, like Lil Uzi and, Rich the Kid, Famous Dex, XXX, so many guys, Super Duper Kyle, G-Eazy, Lil Pump, I Love McConan, Little Yachty. Like it was just, I got, I was always keeping my head. I always knew who was going to pop up next. And the good thing was that in the EDM world,
that's an amazing skill.
I could DJ in front of 80,000 people, play EDM, but then I could like release rap songs, and it didn't really like, people were now like, they were just like, all right, that's just who I was. So that was all interesting, and that was an interesting time because I was just doing what I loved, and that's just make music. But I had so many different styles that I was just doing, from trap to big room house to hardstyle to house to drum and bass to heart to like everything. I was doing everything. It was like an open canvas. I could do whatever I want. So I think that was really cool. But after 8 years of that, it was like, okay, fuck, like, what do I do now? And I wasn't happy. I wasn't mentally in a good place, So it wasn't like, and I never ever say like I was depressed. I was never depressed. I was definitely going through it. But it was, we all go through those times,
Sure.
And then the thing is, the biggest trick is how do you figure out how to stay afloat or get out of it? And, or you what's the word I'm looking for? You revamp your life. You do something different, you adapt, you reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And it was like there was no plan B for me. There was no plan C for me. I'm a music guy. I make music and I DJ. So if that's not working out for me, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah. I can relate to that.
So you have to figure it out. And the thing is, I don't have kids, never married. I moved out of my like family world when I was, 20, 21. My grandma lived with me for the last, 6, 7, 8 years. So I had like the queen bee near me. So like, it wasn't like I was like not around my family.
How important was she in your, when you actually became Carnage,
Yeah.
You were 21.
Yeah. She was, my grandma, my family is super important. They've always been super supportive. But my family, like, it's a difference. I always talk about this, and I'm very vocal about this, is that we're all Latin in some sense, right? I mean, Brazil, and that's a conversation itself. Is Brazil Spanish? Is Brazil Hispanic? Is Brazil Latin? But whatever. I feel like we all are Latin in some sort, but for me it was different, and I'm always very vocal about it because my family comes from Central America. I don't care where the fuck you're from. Central America is a different type of world for Hispanic people. You barely ever hear people from Central America, right? But like Central America, living and growing up in Central America and making it out of Central America, it's a big difference from making it out of Brazil, making it out from Argentina, making it out from Colombia, making it out from Peru, Bolivia, which a lot of these places have fucked up economies. Venezuela.
Sure.
Horrible economies, right? really fucked up governments.
Yeah. It's like playing life on expert.
Yeah, it is. So then you go to Central America and it's like playing life on All Star. It's like really corrupt. So like my family coming from Nicaragua and making it out of there, and you know, my mom and my aunties and my grandma and my grandpa my grandma lives with me. She lives in Nicaragua now. She just moved there. My grandma and my grandpa have probably one of the most insane stories that if I told you, it would be like straight out of a movie type shit. Like my uncle stole a plane to like escape like the war in Nicaragua, took all the kids. The plane was too heavy to get over this big mountain, so they had to throw all their luggage out midair. So they lost everything, and like landed in Honduras. I don't know where they landed, but then like went to Guatemala for a year. My grandma like opened up a restaurant just to make some money for a year, and then made enough money, and then took the rest of the family through Mexico with a coyote, crossed the border with my mom. My mom was like 9 or 10 or 11, I don't know. Crossed the river, snuck into America. Like you don't really talk to a lot of people whose parents actually did that. It's either some immigrant story of like grandpa or like, but like my mom, my own mother, you know, like crossed the border and entered America legally, which is crazy. You know, it's like, it's insane. So like my family coming from Nicaragua, like has been such an eye-opening for me, especially with all these things that I do representing Hispanic people around the world. It's like I come from like one of the tough places, you know, and growing up in Guatemala, seeing all that, you know, seeing like if we're talking about, if we put a list of all the DJs all over the world, right? Bigger DJs, there's millions of DJs, but like the bigger known DJs, I think I'm 1 of 1. I don't really think that there's a lot of DJs out there that could sit there with their families. They've all been through some tough shit, but like I don't think there's a lot of DJs who their parents like illegally entered America and like had no money, eating fucking tomatoes and onions, you know, got granted asylum, come from nothing. It's very rare, especially in the dance community, where a lot of majority of dance DJs are all white.
Were it possible for you to pursue this career because you were in the United States and the scene there kind of helps you into that? Because I don't know if in Brazil it would be. I mean, we do have some funk here, we do have some rap here, and they usually come from that place too. But electronic music, you told me you were doing rap in the beginning also, right?
Yeah.
So the society where you were, it kind of helped you move into music, because you were also telling me that nobody in your family does music at all, right? Yeah. So what did you see in the world that put you into that?
You know, that's also interesting because I didn't come into America until I was like 9, 10 years old. So I didn't know anything about pop culture. Remember, I was coming from living in Guatemala, where the 3 things that I did from I remember that were like important to me was watch soccer, go to Domino's on Sundays after church, and I had chickens in my barranco in the back, you know, like fireworks, or, you know, just like I lived in Guatemala. You know, like Guatemala's big difference, as I said, from all these other countries. So growing up there, you know, growing up and being 4 or 5 years old and going to the mercado in the street and seeing kids high off glue on the ground, or seeing dead bodies, or seeing real poverty, you know, crazy extreme poverty. That's a big difference, you know? But seeing all that has been such a mind fuck for me, because I don't really come from a lot of these places where you would think that like, okay, this is where the DJ comes from, doing this and this and this, you know? It's interesting, but
having conversations about this with other DJs from other backgrounds must be mind opening for everybody, right? Because you must tell them some stories or talk about stuff that some of them might not even know is possible, right? Yeah. Sometimes I go through part of this too, but now you were telling me when you became actually famous and how your grandma was important for you there, especially because I usually think of people getting very rich and very famous very young, and what effects that has in this person, later in their lives. Now you are 35 now, but you've been rich and famous for a while now. So how did it mold you in a way that how did you not become I don't know, a motherfucker? Because rich, famous, and young, that's a dangerous mixture.
I definitely had my moments of being a motherfucker. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Not having anyone like be on my side to like support me and doing everything on my own builds confidence, definitely boosts your ego, I think the big thing was when everything started going down for me. That's when I was like, okay, fuck. This isn't, this isn't going great for me. So I need to figure this out. I can't fuck this up. So I think that was a humbling experience for me when everything was like do. And then everyone started going down. And then it was like, okay, cool. You need to figure your shit out or you're done. And I think that was a big thing, but also a big thing that changed my life. When I talk about that, I'm very vocal about this, is that when everything started going down for me and I was like, and it wasn't doing so great, I got really, really deep into psychedelics. That saved my life. I'm not a religious person. I grew up going to church. I went to church every Sunday in Guatemala. My family, my aunt and uncle who like raised me in Guatemala, they like speak in tongues, like that type of like religious,
Okay.
My grandma, my mom's Catholic, and then like my aunt and uncle who raised me are Christian. But I'm not a religious person.
Okay.
So when everything was going great and everything started going down, I got really into mushrooms, and it was just something, and it I killed my ego for the first time. And that was a big moment for me, because I was like, fuck. I was like, I was an asshole to this person. I was an asshole to this person. And not saying it's the right way to go,
But it worked out for you.
but what I always say is women in the industry, right? Any woman in any industry, right? All the most successful women on this planet majority of them are assholes. They have to be, though, because they're going against men. They're going against a lot of other assholes. Men are allowed to be assholes in a way, we're allowed to be manly and smell, and there's these things when women are supposed to be like, but like a lot of the most successful women I've met in the world have always been pretty bitchy, but they have to be. The point that I'm trying to get at is how far I got to where I got by myself with no one helping me. There was decisions where you had to be that,
I see.
Or else you were going to get sniped off.
I see.
And I have that type of personality where, like, if I meet you and it's all good and it's all cordial, I don't leave here and you don't walk around like, oh, let's fuck this guy, I can sense that. I meet thousands of people.
Sure.
Thousands of people, and there was moments where like I had to do that, and when I got into the psychedelics, I was like, fuck. I was like, I slightly maybe regretted a couple little things, but I had to do what I had to do, to survive.
I see. And being at peace with that is also important, right?
It's super important. But like, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I got into that stuff, like it really just like, it brought me back to reality. My music got better. I started making better decisions, and my brain is like, you could ask anyone in my team, like there's like but a lot of these guys are like that, you know. A lot of guys just like you probably, your brain is probably like a traffic jam. My brain is like a traffic jam. But in my world, I am, you know, in the last 14 years of my life, my brain has been carnage, has been become a good producer, learn how to DJ, become a businessman, learn how to DJ in front of big crowds, learn this genre, tap into rap music, produce good rap music, figure out who's the next big artist, go from there to figure out how to keep my business afloat, to saying, okay, leave all of this, let's go to a whole nother new genre, whole new sound, new business, new industry, and start over again from zero. My brain is fucked, bro. Like it really is. So like, and I have no problem, like, and I'm one of those guys that I work better when I'm like, when there's more chaos going, I work better. So
how do you feel about rage? Does that move you?
It could power you.
Power you.
Rage can power you, and if you use rage in a good way, it could be a great thing. But also it could be a bad thing. But rage, you know, I kind of make an excuse for myself. I feel like, because when you talk about all the greatest humans to ever live on this planet, they were all fucking insane.
I agree. Yeah. I don't even have to agree. Just
so like at the end of the day, if I'm doing something great and I'm doing something that people remember me for, and I've done great things, positively things, cool. Call me crazy, I'll take it. Call me insane, fine. I'm fine with that. But I'm not, you know, there's different types of insane. There's different types of crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't really, you know, when I got into that moment, when everything was going down, I got into psychedelics, and I got into acid, and I got into, you know, DMT, and I got, and because my brain is so, I don't have an addictive personality. I've never done coke. I've never sniffed anything up my nose. Like I didn't start drinking till I was like later on, and like, you know, so I don't have like this thing. So like going into that type of stuff, I wasn't worried like, oh, I'm gonna fucking start, you know, like, but which I did though, because my brain was like, I got so mad at myself one time because I was like, fuck, I wish I would have started taking mushrooms when I was like younger. It probably would have kept me cooler and like not that much of like, you know, had these moments in my life that were negative, but everything happens for a reason. But but that type of stuff, man, it was so insane to like be able to open up my brain and use the other side of the brain that I never used, and like seeing it. And I just wanted to see how far I could go with that type of stuff. So I'm such a huge advocate for like plant-based medicine, which I don't, when people say it's a drug, I don't call it a drug. It's medicine. I mean, Brazilians, you guys know very well about a lot of this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, there's a lot of discussion when it comes to, I mean, we are actually at this moment having a lot of discussion when it comes to weed and use it as medicine and studies and stuff. So we are moving, you know, but we are way, I wouldn't say that we are late, but we are behind a little bit. I see your point. I've talked to some psychiatrists, and they also talk about these substances. But how did you deal with it, Gordo? Did you go? Were you too thirsty, or was it easy to control? How do you deal with it?
Deal with
the psychedelics, the mushrooms and stuff.
It was a transition period when I was going from carnage to gordo. So
it helped you at that moment?
I was just kind of just seeing like, I wasn't, by the way, this happened right when the pandemic happened. We were all not doing shit. So it was a great time for me but all I knew at that time was, okay, cool. Everyone, all the DJs, all the producers, everyone, when the lockdown happened, you either started podcasts or you started something like that, or you started playing video games. And at that moment, I was like, okay, cool. Everyone now is at zero. Everyone's in the same level because we're all locked at home. No one could do shows. No one could do everything. So now it was like, okay, cool. You have your studio. I have my studio. The one thing that I know that I still have is music. So I locked myself in and really focused down and hinted down on what I'm going to do with my music. And that was a time when I had moved to Hawaii at that very moment in the beginning of the pandemic. And I moved to Hawaii and I moved to my grandma, and I started watching sunsets every night, taking mushrooms and just like, and it was just like, I was like, wow, this is like the life that I never had. Like, this is amazing. And that was a thing because it was more of like beauty and more of like, wow, the world is amazing. And like, remember, I didn't have no 20s. All my 20s was airport, hotel, show, airport, hotel, show, airport, hotel, show. So we're talking, I'm 30 years old. I moved to Hawaii, living with my grandma, and I'm figuring everything out, starting from scratch. Everyone's starting from scratch zero, you know? And that's when I think I grew up.
I see.
And I didn't want to just watch a bunch of sweaty dudes get in mosh pits and scream and testosterone everywhere. You know, I was over that. Now I wanted to hang out, make more emotional music, hang around beautiful women.
I see.
And, you know, like that was, I guess that's what a lot of guys end up growing up to, right? Unless you like.
You were at the best possible spot to restart.
Hawaii is probably one of the most beautiful. It is the most beautiful place in the world.
Yeah. I've never been there, but you listen to some stories, you watch some movies and see some videos.
Yeah. It's amazing. So going out there and doing that was great, and you know, and it was just a great time to transition and figure out my life. And my grandma was there the whole time, you know.
You told me a little how you met some of the other artists you've worked with. Some of them, you told me you were lucky. I don't believe that. I think you were skilled to find these. Well, maybe some were luck.
Yeah.
But some, come on, skill. Finding these guys, has it become more difficult, or is the market? Because what I mean is, maybe at the time, everything was so vibrant that there were more artists or more quality, or I don't know, more new stuff. I don't know. How is it compared to this day?
I guess it's easier to find things now because of the internet and social media and everything being so compared to back then, you know, we're just entering Facebook era, we're entering Instagram era, you know, is a big difference. But I guess now it's just so much easier, but then also I think it's harder because there's so much going on. I think like 200,000 songs get uploaded on Spotify every day.
Hard to find something new.
It's very hard. So, you know, and I think I have this conversation with a couple of my friends recently, and it's like we're entering a world now where the curator is the most important job, especially with AI and everything happening right now. At the end of the day, they need curators, you know? So as long as you stay in that curator mode where you're trying to, okay, you can piece these things. Let me put this, and curate. That is going to keep these people alive against something that can be replaced with AI. We're entering a place where there was no AI back then, you know? So now having that, you know, it's good and bad, you know?
And how do you think AI is actually impact the business, or how is it already impacting here in Brazil? Let's try and also speak about how music is in the world. And here in Brazil, it usually goes, people try to make music to make it go viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's happening here. So we usually have the same songs over and over, and they are actually funk version of some famous successful song from some time, and they turn it into, so there's nothing really, so people, they actually launch some work that are the same music 4 times, super slow, Gian told me that, super slow, normal, super fast, or ultra slow for like, TikTok purposes.
There's so many different versions of songs, because the chance of it is also we're in a wild west where we're at a place where like things have become easiest ever to clear, because it's like, let's say you have a samba song and there's going to be 4 or 5 kids online that make your version, make a hip hop version, make a funk version, make a dance version, and one of those versions blows up. Are you not going to want to make money off of that? So,
but how do you see creativity? How do you see, artificial intelligence, I feel like it brings everything to the mediocre, you know? I mean, medium, you know?
It's a medium of high quality.
Yes,
That's
but
the thing, though.
But it's not bad, sure. But it's not, you know, I've heard that before, you know? It's different from when you release something with Drake, for example.
Yeah.
You see. So there are lots of these reimagined songs in Brazil that are pretty good. Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
But they're not, you know, they're not proposing anything new.
Yeah.
And they are made to work in a very specific way. You don't put those songs on your car, you see. You watch them on TikTok.
Yes.
So it's different from having a video clip that has a story. There's an introduction. There is the song starts with a riff.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I mean.
The crazy part is I completely understand where you're coming from. I'm late to the AI party myself, but exactly what you said, I could sit here and play you something, and you'd be like, "Oh, this is amazing," and then I could be like, "It's AI," and you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
No, that's true.
And that's also we're older souls, right? So we come from doing that, right? So like you say, we can't listen to it in the car. If we sit in the car with 4 12-year-old kids, that's all they're gonna listen to.
Yeah, but they listen to the chorus over and over,
Yeah.
and they skip it in the first 5 seconds. You see.
Yeah. So we're coming to an uncharted, weird time where, like,
Yes.
literally, and you know, for me to like say something, the last couple songs that I released, Loco Loco and Olvidarte with Emilia, were literally just hooks, repeated over and over again. So, you know, I talk to Drake about this all the time because he is the biggest streamed artist damn near of all time. And he's constantly over and over again made these hooks and these choruses that have been worldwide smashes over and over and over again. And talking to him, working on new album, it's like, it's interesting because a guy who's been doing it, exactly what you were saying from this is, and now we're entering a territory where the competition is literally all focused on just making hooks. And you're talking to a guy who's really good at that. But it's like, okay, cool. We don't want to box yourself into this TikTok reel twilight zone where it's just like, you know, everything is just hook, and just how, you know, but that's also part of it. You have to adapt, you know, and that's the biggest thing is
I agree.
adapting.
Yep. Yeah,
So.
learning from it. Well, I make long duration videos, shows, and since we know how it works on the internet, we had to adapt. So we make our own stuff to adapt, to be there also.
Yeah.
So I suppose if you're working with, if you in any aspect you work with the internet, you have to deal with the changes.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
speaking of AI. Did you watch the Loco music video?
No. Is it AI?
We did a whole, but that's the thing. We did something different, which we did motion tracking AI. So it wasn't off.
Okay.
Just
so
AI.
AI helped an artistic idea.
Yes.
It was not the artistic idea was not generated by AI. So that thing, I love that. Yes. I love when the technology helps the artist and not the lazy artist that calls whatever the machine delivers art. You know, sometimes it is. It might be. It's not what I mean. I mean, if you're an artist, don't be lazy. That's what I mean.
Yeah, you know, but that's what the whole thing was. Shouts out to Jurassic Smoothie who did it with me. It was crazy, like insane what you could do with AI. But it was a video. The video went viral, just came out last week, but it's all made AI, but I acted all the roles and dancing and the whole thing. So, I mean, what's the difference between that and NBA 2K or playing EA or watching Avatar, where remember back in the day, people would have to wear these grease suits with the balls. Oh, right. What's the difference between that?
Yeah.
That's AI.
Yeah.
I mean, not artificial intelligence, but that's somebody, designing the thing based off of this, But I think doing stuff like that is really cool. To kind of still show some human into something like that. But I am also one of those guys that, like, if it looks cool, it looks cool. Like, I'm not gonna, like, and especially, I have guys, DJs and producers that will show me a song, a house song, or show me something, and then they tell me that it's all computer generated. And I'm like, okay, cool, it sounds good. Like, I'm not those type of guys, but there are other people out there that,
No, I'm not like that.
So
Not like that.
whatever. At the end of the day, if you could do this podcast and we could be sitting on the top of fucking the craziest view in the background, you're not gonna say no to it. It fucking looks cool. It looks good. It's like if more people are gonna watch it, you're gonna fucking do it. But obviously, it depends on what kind of person you are. If you want to keep that. I don't want to ever show, whatever. It's just, it all comes down to a personal thing. But at the end of the day, also, it's like, do you really give a fuck? Do you really care? You're sitting across a guy I haven't ever given a fuck about anyone's opinion unless they're sitting somewhere where I want to be. And I'll keep my mouth shut and listen. I think I always tell everyone that, like, you always want to be a leader, right? Anyone, you could talk to anyone, and you talk to anyone, any person on the planet. You're like, you want to be a leader or a follower? They're going to say leader. But there's some times where you need to keep your mouth shut and learn from someone who's done it, and learn someone who you can learn from, so you can use that to your own advantage and build your own brand, build your own, whatever your goal is, But a lot of people don't use that, or their ego affects it and doesn't allow them to learn, And I've learned from so many people around me. And when, when Drake talks, you shut up and listen,
How has been working with him? You're working with him in the next album, right?
Yeah. We're working with the Iceman coming very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about, of course, I don't want you to tell me anything you can't, but working with the man, how is it? Is it? I suppose it's pretty natural to you by now. Right?
Yeah, he's literally one of my best friends. So
How did you become friends? Long story, right? It's okay. Let's forget this one.
Yeah, like the 10 years,
Okay.
10 years ago, we had a lot of mutual friends. I remember at that time I was Carnage, so I was like, I wasn't just like some random little guy. I was, and we just had a lot of mutual friends, but we just stayed in contact, and we just became very, 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 very good friends. We didn't start making music till after I made this change.
Yeah, I know that.
So if I've known him for 10 years plus, that's why going into the music and going into all of this was different, because we're actually like we talk about normal shit every day. But like, then I was always nervous to show him music and show him stuff, because it's like, I sent him something, and he's like, yeah, this is whatever. Like that really like could really rip your heart out, But then when I started doing the house stuff, he started doing the house stuff too. And then we made Honestly Nevermind. It was just like, okay, cool. Now we can make music together.
Nice.
This is cool.
Okay. So Iceman's coming very soon. And can you tell me how deep are you into this work?
My life has only been GORDO, Iceman.
Okay.
GORDO, Iceman. GORDO, Iceman.
Okay, so
and,
there's going to be a lot of GORDO.
I don't know. That's the thing with Drake, is that like you'll work on a million things and we won't hear till the day the album comes out, which is like, at the end of the day, he's his genius on his own. And he's a curator as his own and producer as his own. So like, he does its own thing, and it's
you can't be the size he is by not doing that, right? You have to be very careful what you're doing.
I've learned a lot from him, just like how one of the biggest brands on this planet moves and how they like, I've learned a lot. So it's been really cool, and I'm really excited for all the music he has coming out. It's fucking exceptional, especially him doing it for so long, and me being part of the journey is a blessing. And this album is really gonna remind everyone, not like that he needs it, but it's going to remind everyone why he is the greatest to do it.
Amazing. And since you have to take a flight, the last thing I'd like you to just, I know you're you told me you're very close friends with Drake. Well, how did you feel with what happened with Kendrick? Because as a fan of music, I feel like everybody won as a fan of music. I'm not saying about them personally, you know? So we got some very cool songs from Drake. We got some very cool songs from Kendrick too. And how do you feel about that?
I feel exactly like a lot of people did. It was just, it's OVO or die. You got to just kind of stick your ground, and it was great because I saw a new hunger come out of Drake that we haven't seen because, he's been at the top he's still at the top for so long, but having a moment like that, like I was there right next to him during that whole thing, and it was just, seeing so many people fall for like lies and like deceit from something is a little whack to see, but
artistically, was it fun to see?
Now, artistically, with all the music that he's making, they just woke up a fucking beast that they haven't seen in a long time.
Amazing.
So I think that makes me happy.
Okay.
The circumstance of it and the situation of it and all the things that he had to go through was a bit shitty, obviously, but it wasn't like, after that, what happens? He drops one of his biggest songs he dropped in a long time. So it's like, didn't really affect anything really. He goes on a tour. He announces a tour. He sells out entire country. He goes to Europe, sells out entire. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't look at it like, oh, I look at it like, okay, cool, game time. So
that's the business.
It's exactly what we talked about. What happened to me? The shit, it started going down. Not like I'm anywhere close to what he did, but.
A man needs hunger.
You have to, and then rage.
Rage, yeah.
It goes back to rage.
Yeah.
Using rage in a positive way. That motherfucker's pissed. He's ready. It's great. It's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Gordo, thank you for coming here. Love talking to you. Obrigado. De verdade. Espero receber você aqui da próxima vez que você vier ao Brasil. Next time you come to Brazil, I really expect having you here again.
No, 100%, but I'll be here with a bunch of gatinhas.
Let's do it. Let's do this. Yeah, I'll find some for you.
Yes,
okay?
Gustosas.
Thank you.
No, obrigado.